Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
Welcome to this meeting for Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023. If everybody could please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Mr. Grigsby? Here. Mrs. McCarthy?
Here.
Mrs. Saxon?
Here.
Mrs. Tamira?
Here.
Mr. Vaca?
Here. Finalization of the agenda. Is there anything to add and or delete?
The agenda is final as presented, except that we need to move my welcome back under superintendent report.
You can do it now. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the written summary of the special and regular minutes for the meetings on November 1st, 2022 and November 13th, 2022.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Tamira, second by Mr. Grigsby. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Tamira?
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby? Yes. Mrs. McCarthy?
Yes.
Mrs. Saxon?
Yes.
Mr. Vaca?
Yes. We'll move into the superintendent's report.
Awesome. I hope everybody had an awesome break and holiday. Welcome back to everybody joining us tonight on Zoom. Just a few reminders, and today was really a great example of why it's important for all of the public to update your Power School information. If you do have children within the district or an employee within the district, make sure that we have that information as well. But today we had a very exciting day back, a little power outage at Liberty, and there was a tragic event that happened here in the city that impacted our first and second grade building. And I can't thank our staff at Liberty, NRAC, and specifically our transportation department for jumping into action and transporting 700 kids from Liberty here, all well under an hour. From the time the electricity went off to the time they all ended up safe and secure here. They were fed, their teachers were well prepared. I was joking with our team that they were getting off the buses with backpacks and bins and lots of activities and things for the kids to do. And they all were great sports. Again, our transportation department shuttling kids back and forth, bringing our staff back to cars at the end of the day. In the city, working quickly to restore power a little bit after 4 o'clock today, we're very appreciative of. So again, if you weren't part of that communication, please make sure that you are taking the time to update your personal information as it pertains to your students in Power School so that you can get those very important updates that will come. And we all know it's snow day season, and that is the best call made all year. So make sure you're getting those calls. And just another quick update that the 2023-2024 calendar has been posted online. We did approve that at our last December meeting, and that is up and available for residents to take a look at, parents to go ahead and plan for next year, and we are excited about that. Do you have any questions? That concludes my report.
I do have one question, Roxanne, I'm sorry. For the communications that went out today, did that go out campus wide, or did that, okay, so I just want, if people are watching, it went out to whom?
Today's communications went to Liberty Elementary and students at ECLC who would participate in before and after care, because their aftercare program was also moved here. But again, just as a reminder, if you didn't get those and you're not part of Liberty or ECLC, there's a good reason, but do make sure that you do have up-to-date information in Power School, as other important announcements might be coming soon.
Sure.
Thank you for clarifying.
Yeah, thank you.
And it really was amazing that our transportation department did that in an hour. So the community knows it's not as simple as it sounds. There was a tree that was laying across Jaycox. So it wasn't just a quick run up Jaycox. There was some coordination required to get around power lines and a tree and a car. That was all part of that incident on Jaycox today. So it wasn't just a quick drive up Jaycox to get the kids to this building. So thank you to everybody involved in the transportation department for doing such an amazing job getting all the kids here. And Sammy, thank you very much. Okay, here's an opportunity of hearing of the public. If anybody in attendance would like to address the Board of Education tonight, now is your chance. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on. Education report, Ms. Tamira.
Thank you. We have 3 items under the education report. It is recommended that the Board of Education approve the high school program of studies for the 2023-2024 school year. Approval of the program of studies will allow scheduling of students for next year to begin. All courses and offerings are contingent upon having sufficient enrollment. Next, it is recommended that the Board of Education approve a pre-K and all-day kindergarten increase of annual fees for the 2023-2024 school year. Finally, it's recommended that the Board of Education approve a multi-year agreement with Navigate 360. This is the first reading of these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will be at our January 17th regular meeting.
Thank you.
Mr. Bach, I have a question. In regards to the high school program of studies, once it is board approved, when should parents and students be able to see that?
So once it's board approved, it will go online. That should happen this month.
Okay,
I would say within the next 2 weeks or so, this information is going to get out to students so we can start getting them the course requests together.
great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Mr. Vaca, I think at number 3, there might be a word missing after 3. Should there be a year? Says, which is a 3 agreement.
Oh, yes, it should be a 3-year.
3-year,
Yes, thank you. Anything else? All right, we'll move into the communications report. Mr. Grigsby.
It is recommended that the Board of Education accept the following gifts with appreciation. A monetary donation of $4,000 was donated by Brian and Nancy Monter to purchase a cheer mat for the North Ridgeville High School cheer team. A monetary donation of $300 was donated by the Rotary of North Ridgeville to the NRHS choir. Soap and hygiene products were donated by Stephen Vilagi to Rachel's Closet program. A roll-in printer, a roll-in laser printer, a UV printer, and consumable supplies were donated by the National Association of College Store to RHTA. $10 were donated by Jennifer Hicks through the Charities Aid Foundation of America Employee Giving Campaign to North Ridgeville City Schools. And we thank our committee for the tremendous support of our schools and students.
Thank you. Human Resources Report, Ms. Saxon.
We have a number of items in the Human Resources Report. 1, support staff resignation. 1, certified building substitute contract. 1, support staff appointment. 1, hourly home instructor contract. 1 NREA supplemental contract. 1 non-NREA supplemental contract. 9, certified staff contract adjustments. 1, support staff adjustment. 1, administrative staff leave of absence. 5, certified staff leaves of absence. 1, supervisor leave of absence. This is the first reading for these items. The second reading and consideration for approval will be at the January 17th regular meeting. This concludes the Human Resource Report.
Thank you. We'll move into the Treasurer's Report, Mr. Cassini.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vaca. So we have the tax budget hearing. The tax budget is a document that we prepare at this time every single year. At the beginning of the year, it's actually required by Ohio Revised Code to be submitted and prepared no later than January 15th. But we usually do it at our organizational meeting to kick off the year. And this is an important document. It's an important first step really in planning for next year from a budget perspective. It works in conjunction with the 5-year forecast, only we're looking at 1 year and we're looking at all fund types versus the 5-year forecast where we are looking at only the general fund over a 5-year period, obviously. But the tax budget is just taking into consideration the next year, all of next year. So just 1 year, but we're looking at all of the different fund types. And this is just to help align the district's planning with our finances and basically the thresholds that we set for our appropriation measures, how much we are going to be able to spend, what is within our means. And it also aligns, every year we get a new valuation from the county auditor, and that number changes every single year. So it aligns our tax revenue collections which work on a calendar year basis with a fiscal year, if that makes sense. So this new valuation will run for half of this fiscal year and into half of the next fiscal year. It gets kind of confusing with the calendar year versus fiscal year, but that is basically what we're doing. We are establishing a threshold of spending for the new fiscal year. And once this document is prepared, it gets submitted to the County Budget Commission. They'll look at it, review it, approve it, and they issue the district what's called an original certificate of estimated resources. And that basically establishes that maximum threshold that we can be within for next year. And then that gets updated throughout all of next fiscal year once those estimates that we are estimating here on the tax budget become actuals. So like when we close this fiscal year that we're in, we'll have ending balances that right now I'm estimating on the tax budget, but those will become actual figures. And so then that's when I bring to you like the appropriation amendments and estimated resources amendments. And that's how that kind of gets adjusted. But this is the first step that kind of starts that whole process. So for the 23-24 tax budget, we do have positive ending fund balances for all fund types. Total estimated revenue being comprised of 67% tax revenue, 20% state revenue, and 13% other miscellaneous revenue. Expenditures making up about 75% of the total estimated budget, leaving a total estimated ending fund balance of approximately 25%, which equates to 23.4 million across all of our fund types by the end of next fiscal year. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Thank you. Very well done.
Thanks.
Finance report, Ms. McCarthy.
Yes, so as we just heard from Mr. Pacini, the Ohio Revised Code mandates the adoption of the tax budget no later than January 15th of each year for the succeeding fiscal year. This is the initial step in district-wide budgeting and planning initiatives. The tax budget is submitted to the county auditor and serves as a basis for the certificate, blah, 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 blah. It wouldn't be a new year if I didn't stumble over something. Basis for the certificate of estimated resources for the next fiscal year. I move that the Board of Education approve the tax budget for July 2023 through June 2024.
Moved by Ms. McCarthy, second by Mr. Grigsby. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby. Yes. Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes. It is recommended the Board of Education adjourn this regular meeting.
Moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Tamira, second by Ms. McCarthy. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Tamira,
Yes.
Mrs. McCarthy,
Yes.
Mr. Grigsby. Yes. Mrs. Saxon,
Yes.
Mr. Vaca.
Yes.
59.
Thank you.